Good morning. The Chief Executive will first give some remarks, and then the floor will be open. When you put questions, please limit yourselves to just 2 questions. CE will have the floor. Good morning. Yesterday, the Hong Kong Police Force made an announcement that with the court's approval, the National Security Department has issued arrest warrants against 8 persons in Hong Kong for breaching the national security law. This is an effective and just way of safeguarding national security and upholding the national security law. I'm in full support of this approach. A $1 million reward has been issued in relation to each of the suspects. Members of the public are encouraged to provide information. Based on the eventual outcome, members of the public can get either the reward in full or a portion of the reward. The Hong Kong SAR government will rigorously uphold the national security law. The Hong Kong SAR government will use every lawful means to pursue liability of these people wherever they are. We will go after them as long as they are alive. Any person can assist the police in arresting these people. All information will be kept confidential. Based on the reward notice and the eventual outcome, anyone providing information will be eligible for the reward, including relatives and friends of these people. For those who are put on the wanted list, the only way out is to surrender themselves to us. This will be a mitigating factor that the court considers in sentencing them. Otherwise, if they remain at large, they will continue to live in fear. The next announcement I'd like to make is that tomorrow I will lead a delegation on a 3-day visit to Guiyang to take part in a joint conference. The Pan-Pearl River Delta includes Guangdong, Guangxi, Hainan, Sichuan, Guizhou, Yunnan, Hong Kong, and Macau SARs, the 9 mainland cities and 2 SARs. This is the area with the most development potential in the country. In terms of the overall development layout of the country, the Pan-Pearl River Delta is in a strategic location. With about abundant resources and strength of each other. So this conference will mean a lot to us. When I visit Guiyang, I will be attending this joint conference. I will be meeting with the local government officials. I will be visiting the Guiyang, the facilities in Guiyang. Next point, next Wednesday, as I have informed the President of the Legislative Council, I will be attending the second interactive exchange session. I will be writing to the Council, inviting members to give views on the session, and I will be welcoming questions from members. Thank you. The floor will be open. If you want to ask questions, please raise your hand, and please state the media outlet you represent, and please limit yourselves to 2 questions. On the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, the lady in black. Chief Executive, I'm from Cable TV. Now, the police has issued a $1 million bounty against 8 persons. Nathan Law says he will not be returning to Hong Kong, and Anna Kwok also said the same. This is nothing but scaremongering. Is it really useful to issue a bounty? And according to the UN Convention, for suspects in breach of political offenses, they should not be extradited. And also for the top talent pass scheme, will there be vetting of the academic qualifications? And also for importation of all the talent admission schemes, the target is 35,000. You have received 49,000 applications. Why is the government relaxing the criteria? The government is issuing the arrest warrant against 8 suspects, and we are talking about suspects who have committed serious offenses. Apart from issuing this reward notice in the past, we also issued reward notices to bring suspects of serious crimes such as murder and armed robbery to justice. We have some over 10 such notices in place at the moment. We will resort to every lawful means to go after them. We will enforce the law rigorously, and we will use every lawful means. The second point is that the police will have regard to the actual circumstances in bringing these suspects to justice. We have cooperation mechanisms with different jurisdictions. As we go on a lifelong pursuit against these suspects, we believe that there is definitely room for us to do our job and not to let them remain at large. The third point is for criminals who are suspected of having committed national security offenses. These are serious offenses, and we will definitely use every means to bring them to justice. Now, on this occasion, we are providing rewards for members of the public to provide information. Many members of the public who also would like to steadfastly safeguard national security will support us. And I believe as we take on the lifelong pursuit of these criminals, we will be able to catch them. So I would appeal to them to surrender themselves as quickly as possible. Next, about trawling for talent and the policies involved. In various media interviews, I have emphasized that at the moment, the world is competing for talent against economic challenges around the world. Every country would like to enhance the competitive edge, and this is done through trawling for talent. And this is what we're going after as well. It is not easy to ask a talent who has gone away to come back. So we need to make our package competitive enough to attract them to remain in Hong Kong. In relation to the applications received, it is evident that Hong Kong is attractive to them. Meanwhile, there is a ramped-up effort to compete for talent around the world. So in other words, we'll be taking talents away from other countries. If the talents go away to somewhere else, this would definitely undermine our competitiveness. So the relevant bureaus and departments will be looking into our policy. Apart from the top 100 universities, we will also consider other universities of quality, because indeed there are many universities grooming talents with different skills and specialties. Now, in particular, since we are given the mission to establish the 8 centers, including the centers for IP, for arts and culture, and so on and so forth, we need talents from all walks of life so as to consolidate our advantages and enhance our competitiveness. The relevant departments and bureaus will conduct an analysis and will make an announcement in due course. I do keep an eye on the statistics. Our target at the moment is 35,000 talents coming to Hong Kong every year. But on the whole, we need to trawl for sufficient talents so that we can win over the competitors.
Next question, the journalist over there.
Obtain the warrants for the 8 people. What's the actual practical benefit for the very high-profile announcement, because you can't capture them if they are not in Hong Kong? And what would it do to Hong Kong's image that you're trying to rebuild, given there are so many reactions from other governments already? And will Hong Kong government in contact or interacting with these people, these legal?
They should do it because we cannot allow people to just go away without taking the responsibility to face justice, to face the law. The police should do it because that is a strong message to everybody that any act that endangers national security will not be tolerated, and serious action will be taken against them. The police should do it because that's a message not just to Hong Kong, but to those who try to endanger our national security. And we want them to know that we will not sit and do nothing. I am in support of the police action. It's not just that this is an important duty they should do, but it is to try to get as much assistance as possible from law-abiding citizens. A lot of them feel a strong responsibility to protect national security. And I think they will be very pleased to provide information to the police. And that law-abidingness is important. And I also want to tell the criminals that, well, the only way to end the destiny of being an abscondee who will be pursued for life is to surrender. I have strong faith in the police ability to do what they can to carry out their duties. And we will be pursuing the abscondees' criminal responsibilities for life until they surrender themselves. As regard the action, I think the police should take action as they consider appropriate, particularly considering the whole operational requirements. Our action is to tell everybody that endangering national security is not something we will tolerate. We'll do whatever legally to pursue the responsible person. How overseas politicians or officials say will not in any way change our strong belief in the need to uphold our protection of national security. I know that they have been doing things for their own political reasons, for their own political gains. The way we are handling national security cases is in conformity with the practices that will be taken for pursuing criminals that have absconded for their national security offenses. Extraterritorial power exists in many countries' national security law. Hong Kong's national security law is one of the many laws in other countries that will have the same power of taking extraterritorial action against criminals who have contravened their country's law in this regard. I am not in any way troubled by any attempt to sabotage our action, because I have strong faith that the Hong Kong police will be able to do what they can. I'm not afraid of any political pressure that is put on us, because we do what we believe is right, and safeguarding national security is the duty of the people of respective countries. Particularly, I, as the chief executive, has the constitutional duty to safeguard national security.
時間關係咧，我哋嘅 We're almost out of time, so we'll take the last question today. On the right, the lady over there. Good morning, I'm from Tsingtao Daily. A question about the 8 persons on the wanted list. They're different from murder suspect. Yesterday, the police made the announcement, and then these persons responded online every day. They're active on social media. They talk about where they've been to, what they're up to. Since they're still active, responding to the government's messages online, do you see there's any provocation in their action? Now they have put it on the waited list. How much do you expect to achieve in terms of results? Mr. Ronnie Tong was saying no extradition of those involved in political offenses. Now, since we cannot see them extradited, so what can we expect to achieve? We will continue to keep an eye on what these people do. Now, if they continue to breach the law, that will become further evidence for prosecution. This shows we need to do everything we can to pursue these criminals who have endangered national security. We have to show that we will take rigorous action to clamp down on any behavior or activity endangering national security. This also shows that the SAR government is doing everything it can, and we're sending a clear message. We do not condone, and we will get citizens to help us to bring these culprits to justice. The reward is there, so that people who want to help us will find a way to let us know if they have the information. this will be a lifelong pursuit. At some point, we will be able to arrest them. I am fully confident in our police. The